Hello, folks, and welcome to the show. My name is Asa Morris, and this is Weird Week. Thank you so much for joining us, whether again or for the first time. Make sure to do the big 5. Like, comment, bell, subscribe, share. I'll get them all one day. Because honestly, it really helps. The algorithm is voracious, and it needs those little treats. Also, please swing over to your favorite podcast provider and check out our podcast, Low Strangeness. It's available everywhere. New episodes every Monday. Short episodes, 20 minutes, half an hour. This week we're talking about ghost lights. Why, you ask? Well, as you can see from my vacation attire, clearly inspired by 90s Hollywood ufologists. Just need a cool little hat. At the end of this week, I will be making a trip out to Marfa, Texas. Finally, scratching a pretty big to-do item off of my list. Hopefully I will get to witness the Marfa lights, but you never know. I don't know what the frequency of how often they show up is. Everyone that I've ever seen that has gone to Marfa has seen them. So I guess it will be my luck that I won't see them. Maybe they've got other plans that night. Because of that trip, though, there will be no new episodes of either this show or this show next week. Just going to be taking a little break so I can enjoy my vacation and not spend the whole time working. Though I might end up filming some Marfa material, why not? Both shows will be returning Monday the 26th, though. Of course, make sure you're following us on all of the socials: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We do have a Patreon if you would like to help us out long term, and we do have small amounts of merch if you'd like to help us out short term. All of our links, our socials, everything will be in the link tree in the show notes. Check it out. All right. All that said, folks, on Sunday, George Knapp over on Mystery Wire broke a pretty wild article, which begins, military and intelligence officials say they remain baffled by unusual, unidentified aircraft that have been encountered in recent years off both coasts of the United States. Many of the objects have been referred to as drones, but that is not what the Pentagon investigators have been telling the chain of command behind the scenes. Since at least 2014, F-18 pilots flying into the zone designated W-72, which is off the mid-Atlantic coast, have reported encounters with a bizarre array of unknown, unidentified objects and aircraft positioned directly in their daily flight paths. The Pentagon requested airmen document their encounters, so further down the article, we discovered a few interesting photographs. First, we have this sphere, which looks to me like digital zoom is making it a bit fuzzier than it most likely is. This could be literally anything out of focus, but who knows at this point? Pilots aren't photographers. We also saw the return of this so-called acorn photo, which actually showed up a few months ago and was widely dismissed by the UFO UAP community, often said to be a Batman balloon. We also got this intriguing picture of what is described as a metallic blimp. In private circles, this photo showed up about 2 years ago, but only on Monday did it hit the general public. According to the article, although these 3 did not perform spectacular maneuvers like the famed Tic Tac or gimbal UFOs recorded elsewhere, they do not behave like any drones or balloons known to the US military. It's interesting, but I can't help but feel at least a little skeptical about these photos, the timing of them, and the fact that if these weren't military, at least 2 of these would have been immediately dismissed by the UFO community. However, the Black Vault did a little extra digging and reached out directly to the Pentagon. Susan Goff, the Pentagon spokesperson, said this: "I can confirm that the reference photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel. The UAPTF has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations, as we have said before, to maintain operation security and to avoid disclosing information that may be useful to potential adversaries. The DoD does not discuss publicly the details of either the observations or the examinations of reported incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace, including those incursions initially designated as UAP." To me, this seems like she pretty obviously danced around whether or not these were valid UAPs, which does nothing to help alleviate my suspicions. On Monday, we... On Tuesday, we learned our old pal Mars has a bit of a rumbly belly. NASA's InSight lander has detected a number of rumblings from inside the planet of, at this point, unknown origin. According to the article from Sky.com, researchers believe these seismic events may be caused by a sudden release of energy from the planet's interior, but the nature of that release remains unknown and puzzling. Although these rumblings have sometimes been called Marsquakes, the planet is not believed to have a similarly active tectonic system like Earth's that causes earthquakes. And curiously, the previous seismic events detected by the space agency's InSight lander, which arrived on the planet's surface in 2018, occurred almost a full Martian year ago, or 2 Earth years, during the Martian northern summer. Or, as I prefer to think of it, Mars has a rumbly belly. On Wednesday, the BBC ran this incredible article. Strong evidence found for a new force of nature. Coming out of a lab near Chicago, researchers that ran the Muon G2 experiment say that it provided strong evidence for the existence of an undiscovered subatomic particle or new force, but don't add up to a conclusive discovery yet. Currently, there is a 1 in 40,000 chance that the result could be a statistical fluke. However, a 1 in 3.5 million chance of the observation being a coincidence is needed to claim a discovery. Also on Wednesday, an article from Newsweek came out, which seems to suggest that Elizabeth Bathory may be owed a bit of an apology. Spanish tech firm Grifols, among a few others, have been busy buying up resources to begin work based on research from the early 2010s that showed that blood from young mice aided in restoration of the brains in elderly mice. According to the article, their goal is to hack the process of aging itself and, in the process, delay or stave off the onset of many of the diseases most associated with growing old. Listen, I'm not some dystopian doomsayer, maybe a little, but how do you suspect this will turn out? On Thursday, Jeremy Corbell tweeted out these videos, in addition to the UAP report from earlier in the week, displaying an interesting pyramid-shaped craft, another of the official releases from the Pentagon. Upon its release, multiple people broke down how this could be faked with incredibly simple camera manipulation. I'm telling you, I feel incredibly uneasy about all of this, and not for the reasons I think most people will. On Friday, a real estate video shot in Fairfield, Connecticut had its share of interesting moments. At first, the object zipping through the sky is clear to the viewer, though could be anything outside of the range of the shutter speed of the camera. However, much more subtly, in the background we see an intriguing formation of white dots that seem to be equidistant. Apparently the realtor suggested that the video be taken down for all the attention it was getting, but I was happy to find a re-upload elsewhere. Nothing ever disappears from the internet. Finishing off our week, a lost golden city of Egypt was discovered. Archaeology is rad and cool, and obviously this is something to be very excited about. However, there's another weirder aspect of this. If you're a fan of the podcast at all, you'll know that I've been keeping track of predictions for the near future. 99 times out of 100, nothing comes to be. However, back on September 18th of 2020, Eric Lee Pink on his blog Worldwide Predictions posted this. I had a visual someone stumbled on a golden city, like El Dorado. The entire place was both ancient and oddly new. It had a glow. The ground was old, thick bricks. On one end, this might be about me, sudden success all at once, or it's a world prediction about archaeology. Okay, so the Golden City was more of a nickname for what the archaeologists discovered. However, as far as predictions go, I'll take it. Recently, while randonauting, my partner and I set our intention as glass. At the location, we discovered a very odd and incredible house set up on pillars in the middle of a neighborhood that we had never seen before. It was incredibly cool. The house was painted a bright green. I know it's a stretch, but what are greenhouses made out of? All I'm saying is sometimes these things are more art than science. And that's our week. A very UFO, UAP driven week. And I really think we're going to start to see that ramping up in the coming months with everything that's happening. Ron Paul gif. We'll see. Beyond that, though, it was fairly quiet, oddly quiet, almost like it reminds me of an inhale, like the phenomenon taking a deep breath. But if you see something throughout the week that you would like me to cover either on this show or the podcast, hit us up on any of the socials or email us directly at lowstrangeness@gmail.com. Like every week, I'm not saying any of this was the truth or real. Actually, this week's pretty much all official news for the most part. Pretty much all of it was real. But regardless, only that these things were odd and caught my attention, and I thought that they would catch yours. I always try to weed out the obvious fakes, except for when they deserve to be called out, but that's not the point of this show. Like I say every week, and feel like I have to continue to say. If you would like more in-depth discussion on various topics, follow the podcast, Low Strangeness, available, everywhere. New episodes every Monday, just like this show. Mondays are good days for you. Once again, I am Asa Morris, and this has been a weird week. Thank you so much for joining us, whether again or for the first time. And I really hope that you come back. Bring your friends. Get a couch. Sit them all there. Popcorn. I don't know. Take care of yourself and the people around you. And I will see you again in 2 weeks. Remember, nothing next week. But I'm sure I'll say,